How's it going? I'm Sam Strachman, a narrative director on Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Sam, what are you showing here in Los Angeles with the Ghost Recon Wildlands?
So we're super excited to present the film prequel, a short film that's a prequel to the game called War Within the Cartel, and it's sort of the story of what kicks things off before the events of the game.
As the narrative director, how are you involved in this live-action movie?
So the live-action movie was mostly a separate team, but we definitely worked very closely with them to make sure that everything that they were doing sort of fit with the storyline of the game and the characters, and we provided them with various art assets and different anything they needed to make sure that the actors and the scenery looked like it does in the game.
Now, the casting was almost spot on with your video game counterparts. Talk a little about that.
Yeah, they did a great job with finding actors that matched up with the characters. What was kind of cool is we actually took for El Sueño, the head of the cartel. He has the tattoos on his face, and what we did was we took his 3D face apart, we took the character's 3D skin, sent it to them, they created their own prints for it, and then they used the exact same prints to create the fake tattoos on the actor's face, right? So it was literally from video game to movie actor.
Was it like seeing your video game come to life in real life, so to speak?
It was weird. It was certainly weird. It's definitely not something I ever expected to happen, and it was strange and but very cool. And just I think it's always nice when you can see like something that like only a couple years ago was just like on a PowerPoint somewhere turn into such a big world that people seem to be enjoying and diving into and just enjoying experiencing.
Now, I know open world games can be a challenge because as a narrative, from a narrative side, you have to have the player experience the story, but in such a large, diverse area that they can explore wherever they want to go, whenever they want to go. You can't funnel them in like you can a movie or a linear campaign.
Absolutely. I mean, and especially with this game, with Wildlands, what's kind of crazy is the entire game from start to be finished can be played in either solo offline or up to 4-player co-op, and you can switch in and out at any time, right? So what that means is it's not two modes. It's not like solo and co-op. It's a single mode that you can jump in and out. And that means basically all story content for the game has to be fun for people playing together. So if you're at the end of the story and I'm the beginning of the story, we have to be able to play together and it has to make sense. So for that reason, we really open up the story and make it as non-linear as possible. So when you start the game, you have more than 100 story missions that you can play in any order that you want, right? And we break it up into 21 different provinces in the game. And you can go, and each province has its own unique theme, its own unique boss, and you can go after them how you want in the way that you want.
So talk about, you have vehicles like helicopters in the game. How do you go about balancing the story? Because with the helicopter, you can kind of go anywhere you want to right off the bat.
Yeah, but in fact, we want you to, right? We want you to. We never lock any part of the map, right? From the start, the whole map is open. And there's 11 different ecosystems in the game, right? There's mountains, there's swamps, there's snow, there's the salt flats, there's the desert, and we really want you to explore as much as the world as possible. We give you planes, we give you helicopters, we give you all these different types of cars, we give you APCs, motorbikes, and we really want you to go out and explore. And if you want to go out to the salt flats all the way on the other side of the map to where the hardest enemies are, as soon as you start the game, cool, go and do it. You'll probably get your ass kicked, but enjoy, go do that. Or if you want to sort of mess around in a couple provinces, get your skills up, find new weapons, upgrade your weapons, and then before you go to the more difficult provinces, that's also up to you, We really want you to play the way you want to play. Yeah, so we did a ton of research for the game. We worked with a number of experts in the field. We went to Bolivia. We took a big trip to Bolivia and talked to a lot of the locals there. We talked to the police there. We talked to sort of the cocaleros there. We also did a ton of research on cartels and how they operate and how they function and the intricacies of how that works. We talked to people on the U.S. government side and the South American government side, and to see how they fight the cartels and what they can do, what they do that works, what doesn't work. And we really wanted to sort of have a whole bunch of different themes of really explore this topic from as many different angles as we could.
Was it scary learning the truth about how these cartels really operate?
Yeah, I mean it's insane. Like, you know, you hear these stories and you talk to these people and you're like, Jesus, man. I mean, it's crazy. It's a very careful line, because at the end of the day, the game is fiction, right? It's not real people, it's not a real story, and it takes place in the near future, right? So it's not like about specific people, but you never want to feel like you're misrepresenting this topic, because it is such an important topic, you know? So you're always walking this careful balance between being an entertaining product, to having a fun gameplay experience, but also feeling authentic and feeling realistic, you know?
And talk about all the ghost side of things. What kind of research did you do with our military?
Yeah, so that was cool. We talked to a lot of guys. We talked to SEALs. We talked to guys from various. We talked to special operations guys and special forces guys, which was really cool to see kind of the difference in how they function. And we got to go on training exercises and learn, you know, how they speak, how they think, you know, when they're planning out their operations. And one cool thing was, for us, was as we went into an open world environment, the game becomes less about, here's your target, go and kill this guy, and then mission's complete. Now it becomes about, here's a long-term operation. You plan out the operation the way you want. You attack it the way you want. You hunt down intel. You do investigation, right? Which is much closer to special operations, where it's literally them making on-the-ground decisions, right? In the same way we want the player to be the one making the on-the-ground decisions.
What are you most looking forward to for people to experience with Ghost Recon Wildlands?
So I think personally my favorite thing is just the way we open up the story, the way it's a completely non-linear, more episodic experience. I think that's going to be a really fun for people, because it's almost like, if you want to play this part of the story solo, you can. If you want to play this pocket of story together as a group, if you want to do this part public, I think it's really cool, because you get to go in, play a little bit of story, come back later, play a different part of the story, and you'll never not be lost about what's going on, you know?
And when does Ghost Recon Wildlands come out?
So it'll be out on March 7th on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.